Alright, welcome guys. So today's video, I'm just gonna quickly talk about let's see. Okay, there we go. So today's video I'm just gonna talk about getting started. So when you are looking to start your first business or you want to build a physique, whatever it may be, actually getting started, actually getting the ball rolling. And I'm just going to go over a few points I have, and then I'm going to give you a couple of tips on how to actually get the work done. So, yeah, we're going to start off. The hardest part of doing anything is always going to be getting started. So, when it comes to starting a business, right, the hardest part for me when starting this YouTube channel was making the first video. It was my worst video, it was my shortest video, and it was probably the easiest to make work-wise, right? But it was the most difficult barrier for me to overcome because I had never uploaded a video to YouTube before, at least not this type or to this channel, and in a long time. So I had never uploaded to YouTube before, right? I had no other social media experience. I had no experience with recording myself and talking to a camera. I had very little life experience as well, just a lot of knowledge. So it was very difficult for me to overcome the mental block of not quite thinking that I was ready to start. And then after I had made the first video, it almost became effortless for me to make YouTube videos. It became very easy for me to make YouTube videos, especially because it's one of my flow state tasks. So I very easily can sit down and just start talking to a camera. But the beginning, right? The first video is always going to be the hardest thing. Everything after that typically comes naturally and comes effortlessly, right? So how exactly do we go about starting, right? So the first thing is the reason why it feels so hard to get started, the reason why the first video is so difficult is because you're thinking about the entire project, right? So you are thinking about the whole project from beginning to end, from start to finish, not the very first task and the very first step. But when you bring your focus back into the present moment, what's your first task? I want to make a YouTube video. Well, what the fuck video are you going to make then? So you got to come up with an idea. Okay, that's task number one, not produce an entire YouTube video and then turn that into a successful YouTube channel. You see the difference? When I'm looking at, okay, I have to come up with a video idea versus I have to come up with 100 video ideas, upload them on a 2-3 times a week basis consistently for a year in order to get this many followers in this amount of time and get this many views on every video, right? Like that's going to overwhelm your brain and make it near impossible to actually get anything moving. Whereas when you narrow your focus onto the one task that you have to worry about right now, then it becomes a lot easier. Then it becomes a simple thing. It's as simple as go and come up with an idea. What video are you going to make? What's one video idea that you were going to make? Right? So yeah, that was another thing that I overwhelmed myself when it came to the YouTube thing with, was I was thinking about the whole project, the whole thing. I want to create this successful of a YouTube channel, which means I need all of these video ideas and I need to be able to make this many videos on this many ideas and this amount of detail. And that's just not something I'm capable of right now. But what can I talk about right now? Well, right now, I'm starting to learn how to overcome a lot of the beginning stages of self-improvement. I'm overcoming a lot of the mental challenges of self-improvement. So let me talk about that. Let me create a video on my biggest mistake in self-improvement. Let me talk about how my mental state and the way that I viewed self-improvement created my results. So now it becomes an easy and manageable task and project, right? So now you can start to apply what I've just said, getting clarity on what you are looking to achieve. So this is where you do look at the whole project, right? Get a clear goal in mind, all right? Visualize very, very clearly what you want. Like, I'm not going to say it out loud because I'm uploading this video, but I can say the exact number of subscribers I want by the end of the year. I can say the exact number of views that I want on minimum views on a video that I want by the end of this year. I can tell you exactly how much money I want to make by the end of this year, right? I can tell you these things in minute detail. I don't know why I said it like that, but I can tell you these things in detail, right? That's why I'm able to sit here and make the video, because I know exactly what I'm trying to do here. I know exactly what I'm trying to achieve by sitting here and making this video. I'm trying to help you, the viewer, as much as possible by providing information, and then use that as my means to draw in more viewers, because the better information I provide, the more people will be interested in what I say, right? I mean, look at some of the YouTubers that you can tell just bullshit all day. Sometimes their videos get views, but they never really retain any, because what they're teaching isn't authentic. They're just trying to seek views. Whereas my goal, my clear authentic goal is to have people who actually want to sit and listen to what I have to say, not just watch my videos because I'm good at getting people to click and I'm good at clickbaiting and making the right thumbnails and titles, right? That's not my goal. My goal is to actually help people through providing information. And so that gives me the ability to make these videos as best as I possibly can for that purpose. So just being clear, being very, very clear on what your goal is going to help you a lot. And then after you have a clear goal, you need to create a clear and simple task, an objective to complete right now that will help you in order to move forward into whatever goal you have. So come up with the goal. Mine was YouTube. Now come up with the objective, the task. One YouTube video. And that's all you focus on, and all you think about is one video at a time. One video, okay? So that's what I did at first. I focused on one video, and I made one video. And I felt so good about making that one video that I went and made another one 2 hours later. I didn't upload it right away, but I created another one 2 hours later. Now, this isn't like, I don't know. I hope it doesn't sound like I'm bragging, because I'm not. I'm just using this as an example. But this is simply to say, and well, what I just said was to show how easy it is after you get started. But this is simply just to say that when you have a clear goal and you have a clear objective, it makes it almost effortless to do it. So effortless that, like I was saying before, someone who couldn't have been bothered to do work that was not forced upon him actually became excited to go and do the work again after the first time. And this is a result of being clear, because I know, oh shit, this is really easy. This is simple. All I have to do is know what I'm going to talk about, create a checklist or a guideline on what I'm going to talk about and how I'm going to present the information, and then sit down and talk. It's easy. It's simple, right? So since I've broken it down, now I want to go make YouTube videos, because it's not something that's overwhelming to my brain. And in fact, I really enjoy the process. And this also ties into overcoming that first gap is huge, right? Once you overcome that first gap, everything falls into place. It becomes so effortless and easy, right? So yeah, once you've become clear on your task, now you got to do the fucking work. All right? So you like, there's no way around it. Like, you are sitting here, most likely, I'm not going to assume, but more likely than not, you are sitting here watching this YouTube video while sitting on a project that you have to do. And I don't know. I don't know you. But more likely than not, you're sitting here watching a video on how to get started while procrastinating on a project. So this is why I say this, because there's no way around it. If you are really avoiding the work right now, that is your problem. I'm not going to tell you something in this video that magically makes you able to go and do the work. I might teach you some methods that you could go and use in order to structure your work in a way that makes it easier to do, but that isn't going to complete the task for you. I don't have time to come and do the work for you. I have time to sit here and do my work, which is to teach you how I go about being more productive. But you have to actually take action, take the initiative to go and do the fucking work. So I say it like that because it's that simple, right? It is really that simple. When it comes down to creating something and building something, it just takes work. It just takes you putting in the work. It takes you shutting off that part of your brain that wants to know when, that wants to know how, that wants to figure out exactly how it can predict and how it can create this future event. You have to put that aside. You have to shut that down because that's going to overwhelm you, and you have to simply sit down and do the work. It doesn't matter when you're going to see the result of the work. It doesn't matter how much work you have to do. None of this matters, right? Only thing that matters is that you sit down and work, is that you sit down and put forth the effort. So, like I said, there's no way around it. If you are here watching this video, you have a project that you have to go and do, right? If you've followed along, you have a clear goal in mind right now, and you have an objective, a task that you can go and do to accomplish it. The next thing is simply that there's no way around it. You have to just do the work. Maybe you don't struggle with this. That's fine. But I'm sure there's a lot of people who do. And it is that simple. It is just applying yourself and doing the necessary work. And then you will see the results you want, right? You're not going to get anywhere until you've done the work. For those of you doing the work, good on you. I'm going to give you some tips to make it easier. First step is going to be eliminating all distractions, because that is the biggest killer of productivity, is distraction. I have my phone on my desk because the only app open on my phone is my notes app. I don't use my phone for anything else except to text or talk to my girlfriend. I don't usually get distracted by this. But I can. When I go on my phone and I go on Snapchat and I text my girlfriend, all of a sudden I'm scrolling on the little fucking, I don't even know what it's called, Snapchat Reels or whatever, right? I'm scrolling there because I don't got TikTok. I try not to watch YouTube Shorts anymore, so I don't really do it anywhere else, right? Sometimes on Snapchat I'll end up scrolling there, right? And I don't stay long because I don't enjoy scrolling. I have no interest in those videos. Like, I catch myself when it happens. But just getting on that app and scrolling is a distraction for me. It throws off my attention from what it needs to be on. Even if I reroute my attention, it takes some time. If you've read Deep Work, you know what I'm talking about. But for the focus or attention residue of you putting your attention to the phone, essentially part of your attention is left at or on the phone even after you've gotten off the phone. So part of your attention is still on the shorts, on the videos that you're watching on your phone, even after you've rerouted your attention back to work. So when you get distracted, it's almost an instant killer of productivity because it's very hard to redirect your attention and your focus back to your work. And the thing is, right? So like small things can be distractions too. So I don't know. I'm looking for something around my room that I could get distracted by. It's very hard because I've set my room up in a way that I don't get distracted. But all right, let's say I go on my phone really quick and I have work to do on my phone. So I'm trying to be productive. And then all of a sudden I click on YouTube because something caught my attention and I want to see this video on YouTube and look up this video on YouTube. And then all of a sudden I'm looking at different videos. Now my attention is off of my work, and it's going to take me more time to get my attention back to work, because some of my attention is going to be left on that video or that topic or that thought, right? So yeah, eliminating distractions, just because so yeah, basically just eliminating all distractions, eliminating anything that might divert your attention away from work. Then you want to go into actually doing the work, so actually working. So once you've put aside all distractions, so I'll put my phone on a different side of the room, I'll clear off my desk, right? And now it's just me and my work. That's the only thing. That's why removing distractions is so important, because now you're left with only the work. One thing, only the work. So now it becomes a lot easier to get the work done. So now that you're left with only the work, you have no distractions, you're focused. Maybe you're not focused, but you have no distractions to take more of your attention away, right? Now it's time to focus in and actually work. So dial in, do whatever you have to do whatever work has to be done. So if this is making a video, record your video. If this is going to the gym, go to the gym, hit the workout, right? Now, the reason people struggle with this is often because of their minds. Their minds will give them reasons why they shouldn't do it, why they're not qualified, why the workout is too hard, or it's a bad idea to go, right? All of these excuses might come up. I'm going to use my example, or me as an example, but today, right before I sat down to record YouTube, I had about, I was going to say about 5 minutes, it was more like a few seconds, where I was just debating on whether or not to record, because it's been a long time since I've recorded videos. I mean, it's only been a couple weeks, but it's been a while since I've recorded videos, and I just feel like I'm in a slightly less productive and mentally sharp state in these last couple weeks. I think this is the best way to describe it. Like, my mind isn't as sharp as I like it to be. So I almost tried to talk myself out of making these videos, because I felt like they weren't going to come out that good, because I just didn't feel like I was actually in a good state to talk clearly and well. But I just shut the fuck up and did it anyways. And actually, I'm pretty happy with how these videos came out. And that's kind of all I'm telling you to do. And that's the only tip I really have for you when it comes to doing the work, is to just shut the fuck up. Shut off the excuses. If you don't think you're qualified to make a YouTube video, go make a YouTube video first and then find out. Because more likely than not, you're going to be a lot happier with that video than you thought. And you might not. It might be a fucking awful video, but you'll be happy that you made it. You'll be happy that you did the work, and you'll see that it's not all that hard. And you could do this more often. You could do this on a daily basis. And if you did, you would develop the skill and your videos would stop sucking, right? But more likely than not, you're going to look at the video and be like, damn, maybe I do know something, right? You're going to be like, damn, I'm actually not too horrible at this. Like, I've been overthinking this for too long. But when you don't shut the fuck up, your brain will convince you that you are not qualified to speak on the topics you're speaking on, or you are not smart enough for it, right? Whatever excuses your brain comes up with, it's going to convince you that you can't do the work. But by shutting the fuck up and doing the work, your brain has no leverage over you to convince you that you can't do the work. The reason I was able to so easily record today, even though I had these mental blocks, is because I've already done it. I've already done it feeling like this, feeling like I don't think I know enough to talk for 20 minutes on a YouTube video, right? But then I made a video anyways, and it was a really good video. So now I know, like, yeah, I might think that sometimes. I might doubt myself from time to time. But when it actually comes down to doing the work, I've proven that I can do it. And so I don't have any doubts internally. My thoughts might doubt me at times, but I don't have any reason to listen to those thoughts because internally I have no doubts, right? So now we're going to move on to, you've done the work, right? You've created your first video. You have built your first drop shipping store and sold your first product. I don't know. But now what? So once you've done the work, you've gotten started, you've done the first thing, the thing that's been holding you back and stopping you from starting for so long. Now what? Because now you're in a very unique position, right? Because you have this old lifestyle, this old version of you waiting for when you're done, right? But you're now putting in the effort to create something different. So after you've done the work, instead of just going back to your normal habits, instead of just going on your phone and scrolling again, instead of just, I don't know what the fuck you do, right? You know what your cope is. So instead of doing whatever that cope is, follow up on the work. So I uploaded my first YouTube video on January 2nd, I believe. That night, I was starting to think about how I was going to turn that one video and this channel into my goal and ideal channel in the future. And immediately after I had made that video, I started planning. I started thinking. I started being like, hey, this is really doable. Like, I can do a video a day easily. And so this started to get my brain working and started getting me thinking about how to make more videos, how to grow the brand, how to grow the channel, how to just get things moving forward, how to continue moving forward. And this is the reason that I'm here. If I had made that YouTube video that I made and then nothing else after, no follow-up, I wouldn't be here today. It's simple as that. But because I followed up on the work, I did the work once, and then I prepared myself to do it again. I didn't just go and do it right away, because, I mean, it was still a big thing for me to overcome doing the work. But I prepared to do it again. That's where a lot of people get stuck. They get the work done, and then they're like, all right, I'm done. And then that's it, right? They essentially give up from that point. Even though they plan to do the work again in the future, it's harder for them to actually do it than it would be for someone like me to do the work and then follow up immediately after and be like, oh wow, that was easy, that was kind of fun, I enjoyed that. How can I plan this into my day? How can I structure my days in a way that will optimize for this? How can I do this next? How am I going to do the next video? How am I going to make the next product? Whatever. You got to follow up on that work, otherwise it won't go anywhere. Because if you watched my last video, consistency is key. We talked about how consistency and being consistent is how you'll see the result. If you upload one video, you're not going to make a whole lot of progress. But if you upload one video every single day for 3 months, you will probably see good results and good progress. So why do our minds feel this need to overcomplicate the process, overcomplicate the work? So the main reason is simply that change is uncomfortable. You've heard it 1,000 times over, but it is the truth. Change is very, very uncomfortable and hard for especially the human brain. So when we are seeking to do something new, something that may be exciting to us, something that may be of interest, if it's not something we're already doing, our brain is going to try to create some form of fear in order to protect you from the unknown. This is a natural response that your brain does on its own automatically. This fear is a sign or a barrier or wall between you and something fulfilling, something exciting, something beautiful. So our minds are naturally designed to keep us in the comfort zone. We are here to overcome that, get out of the comfort zone, cross the barrier of fear into a new, beautiful life for ourselves. So when we are seeking to start a business, our brain is going to look to the very end of the business and be like, wow, that's a lot of fucking work. I don't want to do all that. And it's going to create this sense of resistance between you and getting started, because your brain is predicting the next 3 years of work that you have to do, not the next hour of work that you're going to be doing. And so it feels as though you're about to go into doing years worth of work when all you're doing is recording one video, when all you're doing is, getting one client. The brain, the mind, is going to perceive it to be bigger than it is in order to keep you safe, right? It's going to create this resistance in order to keep you safe and comfortable, right? But if you overcome the resistance of it and you do the work anyways, you'll realize the brain was wrong and the work isn't actually all that bad. And actually, the work is the most fulfilling part. But the brain, because it has never done that before, is going to resist it until it is used to it. So, yeah. That's all I got for that point. Now, staying consistent. I just made a whole YouTube video on this. You can go check it out. It's about a half an hour long. But I just got a couple points really quick that ties into getting started. Because when you get started, that is the biggest barrier and the biggest kink is the first piece of action. But everything after that will determine how far you go. How consistent you stay will determine how far you actually go. So I'm just going to give you some tips for staying consistent. I've already talked about the importance of consistency in my Consistency is Key video. Again, you can go watch that after this one. But yeah, so basically one of the things I do to stay consistent, and I've already kind of talked about this in this video, but I'm just going to essentially break it down here. But breaking down your tasks into manageable parts. So breaking down all of your work tasks into manageable parts will just make it a lot easier and more effortless for you to stay consistent, right? So like, for example, my day is structured into segments. So I have my morning routine and then I have my work. That's one segment, right? So that's one full flow state. Typically is going to be my morning routine and then my 2, 3, 4 hours of work after, depending on what I actually have to do for that day. That's one block. Then I take a little break, maybe eat some lunch, whatever. And then I have another block where I'm usually trying to exercise or do some form of training. Right? So I don't look at my work block as one giant work block, because otherwise there would be plenty of mornings where I wake up and I'm like, fuck, I don't feel like getting up, taking a cold shower, going for a run, and then coming back to do 4 hours of work. That seems like a lot. So what I do instead is I break it down. I'll show you. So I have my monk mode on my phone. Those are my daily habits and my tasks. And then I have this. This is where I just keep my work tasks for the day. So I just write down whatever work tasks that I have to accomplish that day. And so that way my 4-hour work block is already divided into just the manageable tasks. So the first thing I have on here is record 2 videos. So I'm about to finish that, check that off, and then go to my next work task for the day. But if I were to think about, I got to record 2 whole videos, which are probably going to be a half an hour each to an hour, then write scripts for 5 other TikToks, that feels like a lot. But sitting down and recording one video, Okay, I'm done with that video. I'm good. That one came out good. I liked it. It's nice. Then recording another video. Then writing out my TikToks. That's going to be a lot easier because I've broken my workday down into manageable tasks, right? And so that gives me the ability to stay consistent a lot easier, because when you want to accomplish the whole task, you're more likely to give up. But when you're only doing one task at a time, like for me to give up right now in the middle of making a YouTube video wouldn't make any sense, because it's just one task. It's just one YouTube video. I just have to sit here and finish recording this one video, and then I'm done with that video. And then I move on to the next task, and I start thinking about the next task after that point. Actually, one thing I did this morning. So I was in my cold shower, right? But for whatever reason, as soon as I turned the cold water on and I felt the discomfort from the cold, I started thinking about the run that I was going to have to do after the cold shower. And I was thinking about the other uncomfortable thing that I had to do in the future while doing something uncomfortable. And so that just created more discomfort and more, almost made me more overwhelmed by the cold. And as soon as I realized that, and I stopped focusing on the run and I just became present again, the cold stopped being as bad, because it is just the cold water. Whereas when I'm thinking about how hard it is to get in the cold water and then how hard it'll be to go outside and go for a run after that, it almost overwhelms my brain to the point I don't want to do any of it. So yeah, breaking down your work into manageable tasks and doing that on a consistent basis will help you build consistency, right? Because when you're trying to do it all at once, and then you somehow give up, right? Basically, if you're breaking your tasks down into manageable work tasks every day, then when you do feel the resistance, or you're just absolutely fried, your brain's fried and you just can't work anymore, when you feel that, it's going to be easier to keep going, because you don't have the next 2 hours worth of work. You have just the next task, just the next small thing to accomplish. And so it's easier to just be like, all right, I'm tired, I'm exhausted, but let me just get one more thing done. Let me just get this next task done, and then I'm good for the day, right? Makes it easier to keep going because it's smaller. But when you're like, fuck, I got another 2-3 hours worth of work, you're less likely to actually do it when you're feeling that tired and exhausted feeling, because you're looking to the next 2 hours worth of work. Instead, look to the next task, the next piece of work. And then whatever it is you're doing, so like if it's a business and you're recording YouTube videos, do it at the same time every day. This is the easiest way to build consistency, is just doing it at the same time every day. Because after, I think it was about 2 weeks for me, but after about 2 weeks of doing pranayama, breath work, after school every day, now it's pretty much my automatic habit. It's the first thing I think to do when I get home, because I've done it at the exact same time every single day. And it's like when I don't have school, I naturally fit it into my day where it belongs, based on where it's in my day normally. Not the same time, but just like based on what I'm doing. But when you do it at the same time every day, it happens a lot quicker that your brain starts to remember to do the thing. And therefore, consistency will become effortless, because your brain will always remind you at this time every day to do the work. So that's my last tip. I thought that last one was a pretty good one. I think that'll help you a lot. Just set the same time every day. And that helped me a lot personally with certain things that I wanted to start doing but couldn't find the time for. Just doing them at the same time every day made it easy for me to fit it into my structure, because now, like, there's no question about it. Like, this time is set for this task, and that's just how it is now. And so I basically, I can't miss anymore, because this time is this task, and it's automatic for me at this point. So that one will help you a lot if you really take it seriously. So I'm excited about that one. So I'm hoping this helped you. I'm hoping this video was useful. That's all I got though. That's all I got to talk about. So yeah, I hope you guys gathered some information, some helpful information, and good luck. Peace out.